Hello and welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I am the Recovery Plug. What's happening, everybody? Well, it's a nice Saturday afternoon and I'm doing great. You know how I like to always get my videos started, always with a moment of silence followed by serenity prayer for the addict who still suffers. So, if you would, a moment of silence, please. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Excuse me, Bob. I fixed my camera there for a minute. Well, yeah, so today's Saturday. It's freaking great. The weather's nice out here. I'm out here at the park. They're putting up these Christmas decorations, and everything seems to be going pretty good. Yeah, so guess what? I wanted to talk today about the desire chip. And the desire chip is it's an acknowledgement that an addict, in whatever form of addiction you come from, or that you're involved in, that you want to have some sort of recovery in that addiction. In other words, you want to try to stop the addiction, and the desire chip it's the first step of admitting that you're ready. And that's an awesome feeling. That is, I mean, the courage it takes to accept the desire chip, especially when you have to accept it in front of people that you don't even know, is probably one of the most courageous things a person can do. And in the world of addiction, and to cross that line, if you will, that boundary to hop into the world of recovery and positivity is such a tremendous achievement that not a lot of us who are in addiction get to do that. And if you find yourself at a moment in time in your life that you're ready and willing to accept that first 24-hour chip, man, kudos to you. And I pray that you get to get that. And the chip is just a reminder, a daily reminder, an affirmation, if you will. It's just an acknowledgement to say, hey, you know what, you took that step to the road of recovery and positivity. And if you continue to do that on a daily basis, your life will begin to change immensely. And I just think that it's such a courageous step, and a beautiful feeling for a human being to be able to do that. And if you don't know what a desire chip is, or if you don't know what a desire chip looks like, well, I have a desire chip right here in front of me. And this is it right here. This is the desire chip. This is a 24-hour chip. You see that right there? That is the 24-hour chip. And on the back of that chip, it has the prayer that I start all my videos with, the Serenity Prayer. Isn't that beautiful? That's a cool chip right there. And that is a desire chip to your first step to positivity and recovery. And when you get that first step, that means that you've came to terms within your mind, within your heart, within your soul, to search something. You've searched for that spiritual inner being that you decided, hey, you know what, I've had enough for today. You know what I mean? Don't take this the wrong way, that oh my God, this is the first, I can't. I don't know if I could do it, because a lot of people make that mistake of thinking that because you accept that chip, that's your first day of the rest of your life without drugs. No, it's not. That by far, that's not what it means. What that means, what that desire chip means, is that's your first day to the first step of being, acknowledging that you want the help, acknowledging that you're ready for the change. And 24-hour chip means exactly that you're ready to give it up for 24 hours. And after that 24 hours is done, then guess what? You have that chip that you can look for every day when you wake up and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do that one more time. I want to desire chip again. And you know what? You have it right in front of you. And you know, when you're able to see that and to acknowledge that's a repetitive thing that you could do on a daily basis that will keep you on the road to recovery and positivity. And it's an amazing thing to do. It's something that not a lot of people get to do, and you get to join the few, the ranks of the few who decided to take that step, that strong-willed few that decided, hey, you know what? I'm tired of doing what I'm doing. I'm tired of being in the darkness. Please, I want to take that first step. And this right here, my friends, is the very first thing that you do. And guess what? What I did yesterday was I got this chip. It's my 6-month chip. And what that is reflecting that I have 6 months of sobriety under my belt as of today. And I'm excited to have that chip right there, man. You know what? I didn't see myself getting this chip. You know, when I was in the world of addiction, this chip right here was the furthest thing from my mind. And this chip was the furthest thing from mine. The 24-hour chip was the furthest thing from mine. I knew about the chip because I've gotten one before, and I've gotten one of these before too. But it was just, in the world of addiction, you get complacent. In the world of addiction, you get stagnant. In the world of addiction, you procrastinate. And all of those things are negative things. And when you involve negative things in your life, well, then guess what? Negative things happen. And when you want something positive to come to you, when you want something that makes you happy here and here, and you know, for me, you know, I can remember 6 months back being in the world of addiction, and just I was so unhappy with my life. I was just so unhappy. I was waking up every day just dreading that I had to go hustle and do a lick for not only to find a place for me to stay, find food for me to eat, but find the drugs for me to stay numb, in a sense, because that's what I used the drugs for. I used them because I was so unhappy, and the only thing that the feelings that I was going through, the depression, the PTSDs, the just everything all wrapped up into one, and the bad dreams, and just the bad karma, and just all of that stuff was just the toxicity of my life at that particular time was just, you know, it was unreal, and I was just hating my life, and I just couldn't stand it anymore. Everything that I was involving myself in, whether it was, you know, physical places being, or people that I was with, people that I hung out with, all of those things wrapped into one was just something that was just so negative and so just ugly, and I couldn't stand it anymore. My life was just so chaotic, and I was, you know, I could remember 6 months ago I was weighing about 160 pounds, and I was just tired, and on the streets, living in motel to motel, living in one bando to another bando, living in tents, living just, you know, out in the street, or going from one friend's, you know, garage to the next one, and you know, it was just such an unhealthy way to live, and I can remember myself just being so unhappy with that life, and no matter what I did, it just wasn't enough. And nothing I did was making me happy. Nothing I did was getting me out of that bad realm. And these chips right here were the furthest thing from my mind. And I known about the chips because I've gone to recovery before. I've gone to rehabs before. I was in recovery before, and I've been dealing with NA and AA meetings since I was about 18 years old, and I've been involved in drugs and alcohol since I was in the first grade, and that was all I knew. My whole life revolved around alcohol and drugs, and being from a family who alcohol and drugs was always present. There was not one day that I could remember that I didn't see, a bottle of booze, a can of beer, or a bag of freaking cocaine, and it was just terrible. And at the time I didn't know. I didn't know any that it was bad. To me, it was normal because that's all I've seen my whole life. And when I found myself, totally back in the world of addiction, and the last time it was, I lost my business, I lost my family, I lost, my belongings. I mean, everything. And I'm sitting in the street of San Antonio, Texas, just wondering, okay, what the hell am I gonna do now? And just feeling sorry for myself, just beating myself up, like, how could you do this? I mean, dude, you're a Navy veteran, and you're physically fit, and what the fuck, what, why? And I was just stumped, you know what I mean? And I just didn't know, you know what I mean? I sat there. I can remember the day that I lost my house, just sitting there and thinking, what in the world am I going to do now? I had to move my kids out of the house because I had two daughters that lived with me, and now they had to, move somewhere else, and they get displaced, and I'm living in my truck, and trying not to show that things are bad, and telling my daughters that I'm at a friend's, or I'm doing good, but I'm not, and I'm just in the street, and wondering, finally my money depletes, and the only thing that makes me feel any good, or that the only thing that is any relief is the use of the drug, because now I can just numb myself and not feel it. And unfortunately, when you do that, you get into that I don't give a F mode. And I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't give a shit about nothing, because I felt that I got dealt these bad set of life cards that, I guess this is where I wind up. And, the last straw was, my truck being stolen with all my belongings in it, and that was it. Now I'm on the street with absolutely nothing. With absolutely nothing. No money, no clothing, just the clothes that I got on, and I'm just like, what the F? How does this happen to somebody? And I just didn't know. I didn't know. I could always, I would remember seeing people out in the streets, and or people that I knew that were in that situation, and I'm like, how does that happen to somebody? And then lo and behold, I'm in that situation, and for somebody who has a bachelor's degree in project management, man, I couldn't manage my life with this shit. And I was just so upset with myself that I had all these achievements, and I had a family, I had money, I had a business, and more than one business. I had, I'm a veteran, and I took care of myself physically, and ate well, and just the whole 9 yards, and then I found myself homeless, and I'm just like, wow, I mean, what the hell did I do that was so bad in my life that I had to wind up like this? And I don't know. I just, it's still a mind-boggling thing, and I used to really beat myself up about it, but this time around, something's different. You know what I mean? So this time around, there's something that's different about the sobriety this time around, and I don't know if it's because I'm incorporating a few new, things that I'm doing in my recovery, and that I didn't do, the previous times. But um, to get these chips is it's a pretty good feeling. You know what I mean? Just the affirmation of getting them, and the affirmation of kind of patting myself on the back, because you know what? It's okay to be selfish, because you have to be sometimes, and you have to be in this world of recovery, because if you're not, then if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of anything else. I got, check this out. I got all these chips right here. Let me put this down so you could see the chip. I got my desired chip, then I got my 1 month chip, then I got my 90-day chip, then I got my chip when I finished my recovery rehab center that I stayed for a little over 60 days, and then I got my 6 month chip. So, I got all these chips here, and I'm pretty proud of those fucking chips. To be honest with you, I really am, because I look at my life 6 months ago, and I was in a bad spot. I really was. I was in a bad spot physically. I was in a bad spot mentally, and I ultimately was sitting in a jail cell, just thinking, man, I got to do something different. And by the grace of God, I got chosen to go to jail that day, and I just think it's a God thing to me. I really do, because there had to be some sort of awakening for me, because I was really going nowhere, and every day was getting worse. Every day was getting worse, and I think about the people that I left behind, because there's people that I really cared for, I really did, and to not be able to bring some of those people with me it was heartbreaking, you know what I mean? Because there's people that I was with. I people that I was with every day for it was almost 5 years, you know what I mean? And to just, you can't help everybody, and you can't make somebody do something they don't want to do. So, and I recognize that, you know what I mean? And all I could do is pray and spread the message. And that's what I do these videos for, is to bring awareness and to spread the message, and that maybe somebody hears something positive that I got to say, something that comes out of my mouth, maybe is something that somebody resonates with, and it allows somebody else to, get out there and go get this thing right here, that 24-hour chip, that acknowledgement to say, hey, you know what, just for today, I want to stop using just for today. And when you do that, I think it shows character, and it shows that, you're ready to get back, and you're ready to recover things that you have lost in your life that maybe you've been longing for, and the first step is just that, is that thing where you just have to admit and say, hey, you know what, I'm done. I'm exhausted, and I've already exhausted every possible thing that I can do out here, and nothing's getting better. Please help. And you're asking your higher power, and you may not know that at the time. You may not even believe in a higher power at that time. But when you're just saying it, and you're saying it out loud like that, that's exactly who you're talking to, in my opinion. But you're soul searching. You're finding that inner peace within you, because that means you give a shit about you. And that's the first step. Because a lot of people don't care about themselves. A lot of people hate themselves. When they look in the mirror, they don't like what they see, and they continue to use. But I'm here to tell you that you matter. Just like I figured out that I mattered. No matter how many times people will tell me that, nobody loves you, you ain't worth the shit, and that sort of thing. But you know what? I'm better than that. And I know I am. And I know that there's people who love me, and I got a God who loves me. And I got people in the recovery community who care what the hell happens to me. And I got people in the faith-based community who care, and that's what I'm doing. That's my due diligence is to get out there and talk to somebody. Get out there and let people know that there's help, because there's a problem that's going on in this city and all over the country that people are dying every single day. There's a 9/11 happening. And what that means is that in 9/11, a little over 3,500 people died in that day. And that's how many people are dying every single day of drug overdoses in the United States. And it's a problem. It's a major problem, and we have to bring awareness to let people know that, hey, you know what, you're not alone. There's help out there, and all you need to do is look within and desire one of these, so that you can just say, I'm tired. I just want to stop just for today. That's it. Just for today, I don't want to use this. You know what I mean? If it means for a minute, then that's what it means. It means 5 minutes, 15, 20, whatever it is. But if you go out there and you find you somewhere where they're giving these things out, and usually it's an AA or an NA meeting, and that's all you have to do. You just have to come clean just for that day. It doesn't mean that you got to stop for the rest of your life or whatever, but it means is if you want to stop just for today, then that's all you got to do is just ask for today, is that I want to stop using just for this day because I'm tired. And I can guarantee you, if you go to one of these NA or AA meetings, and you know they're all over the city, and I'll give you a couple just at the top of my head. Go to the Goliad group on the southeast side, or the Winners Club on the northwest side, or the Esperanza group down in the west side of San Antonio, downtown, or go to Club 12 in the north central side of town. And that's where I was at yesterday, over at the Club 12, and got my 6 months shift. I've been sober and happy for 6 months, man, and it's an amazing feeling. 6 months ago, I was sitting out there in them streets, in them bandos, in them motels, weighing 160 pounds, just withering away. And today, I'm glad to say that I got my health back, I got my exercise back, you know, I got my weight back. I mean, I'm weighing a little over 185 pounds now, and it's just great, you know what I mean? I feel good. And I'm great. I'm just glad to be healthy again. That you know, and I'm not all the way there, you know what I mean, by any means. I got a lot of stuff up here that I got to take care of, and things in here that I'm still working on a daily basis. But you know what? Just for today, for today, I'm good. And for today, that's why I'm out here doing this message, so that hopefully somebody just for today wants to come on this side of the world of recovery and positivity. Well, I guess that's all I got for today. I guess until the next time, when the smoke clears, if you would please hit that like button, hit the thumbs up, share my channel, subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I really appreciate the growth. It really helped me out in spreading the message and get the message out to more people who are, you know, having difficulty with addiction and depression and PTSDs and all that stuff, all those neurological brain diseases. And so yeah, if you would please share my channel, hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it. It doesn't cost you a thing to do. All you got to do is boom, tap the little button, and I'd really greatly appreciate it. I'm praying out there for you guys and for everyone that I know out there in the world of addiction. I hope to see you one day on this side of recovery and positivity. But until the next time, when the smoke clears, I am the Recovery Plug.